Alright guys, so today I'm going to give you 5 quick tips on how to shoot a wedding ceremony. Professionals, amateurs, beginners, whatever. I wish I knew these tips when I first started shooting weddings. So 5 quick tips on how to shoot a wedding ceremony. So yeah, so I'll put my board down here. So sometimes I'll be looking down there to get to the next point. So don't worry about that. I'm not looking away. I'm looking at my board. So all right, so let's get to it. So tip number 1 is always have at least 3 to 4 to 5 cameras. Don't have one camera. Don't have 2 cameras. Have at least 5 cameras. I usually have 4 cameras, but when you're starting out, um, always have at least 3 cameras when you first start. Because the thing is, like, you want to get different angles just in case one camera gets blocked by Uncle Leroy, who's trying to, be a professional shooting on his iPhone, or Auntie Jenny right here, trying to be the next best thing with the iPhone 8 or iPhone 8, whatever they got. So Android too. So yeah, so at least have at least 3 to 4 cameras. So that way, if one camera is blocked, you can you can use footage from the other camera. So that's the only reason why I have multiple cameras. So that way I can switch to different cameras in case one camera is getting blocked, especially when the crowd gets up to when the bride is walking in. You want to have a camera whereby you catching the bride walking in, from the aisle. You're standing right by the front as she comes in, and I usually also have another camera in the back as she goes through. So because if you have the cameras in the sides, they're gonna get blocked when people stand up. So at least have multiple cameras. So this is very useful. This is a very useful tip for amateurs and beginners, because usually people think, my first wedding I went there with only one camera, and it was a disaster. So I only had one camera, and thank God it wasn't a big wedding. And also they didn't pay me a lot of money. They just paid me like 250, but so I had only one camera, and I didn't know nothing about wedding ceremonies and stuff like that. So I wish I watched a video like this when I was first starting, so that way I probably would have invested a little bit in cameras. But so always have at least a lot of cameras, so that way you can get different angles. What I do with my cameras is I have one camera focused mainly on the groom, so at least when the bride is walking in, you can catch the reactions, because the brides love seeing the reaction of their husband while they're walking down the aisle. Some guys tear up, some don't, but always have one camera dedicated for the groom, and I also have another camera dedicated just for the bride. And then I have a camera, like a wide angle in the back, the wide angle uh, getting the people and everything, the officiant. And then I also have another camera waist up for the bride and groom, tied up there. So always have a lot of cameras. So that was tip number 1, and it is very important. So when you're first starting shooting weddings, please always have multiple cameras as well as a lot of batteries. Okay, so tip number 2 is tell the officiant to tell people to sit down as soon as the bride gets to the front. As soon as the bride gets to the front, tell the officiant to tell the people, congregation, the guests, to sit down. So that way your cameras can capture clear angles of the bride and groom, of what's going on in the front. Because I've been to weddings where some officiants, they just start talking. Okay, so who presents this girl? And then after that, they start talking, and this whole time everybody is standing up. So if you have cameras in the sides, they're getting blocked. They're getting blocked by the guests, and sometimes they might get blocked by the wedding party, the bridesmaids and groomsmen. So always make sure that you also know where those people are going to stand when they walk into the ceremony. And those are the things that you need to ask the bride, the officiant. Always tell the officiant to tell people to sit down as soon as the bride gets to the front, so that way your cameras are not blocked. Because I've had instances where the cameras are blocked, especially the camera that I'm focusing on the groom. People stand up, and it's blocked. So I always try and place it to where nobody's going to get in the way, because I want to catch the reaction, especially if it's only one shooter. This is very important, especially if it's like you're just shooting solo. Make sure you have multiple cameras, and make sure the officiant tells the people to sit down as soon as the bride gets to the front. All right, so tip number 3. Okay, so tip number 3 is tell the couple to hold the kiss longer. Okay, tip number 3, tell the couple to hold the kiss longer, because sometimes because some couples wanna, they want to kiss like they're in high school or in junior high or something, just like what is that? Like, kiss her like you own her, man. Like, kiss each other like, you love each other, and keep like, tell them to prolong the kiss a little bit, just like to hold the kiss, not prolong it, but to hold the kiss a little bit longer than they should, so that way you capture the kiss nicely, because that's also one of the most important part of the wedding. If you miss the kiss, you're going to get in trouble. So make sure, tell the couple to hold the kiss a little bit longer. Okay, and also that's good for the photographer, because he has to take the photos. So make sure you tell the couple to hold the kiss longer. All right, that was tip number 3. So tip number 4 is tell the officiant to move out the way when he pronounces them husband and wife. You may now kiss the bride. Tell the officiant, once you say that, please, sir, ma'am, whoever, move out the way, so that way when you capture the kiss, there's nobody in the background. The officiant is not like, yay, oh woo, he's on the side or she's on the side, because some officiants, sometimes it's the first time officiating, or their third or fourth, and they've never come across a photographer or videographer who's told them to move out the way as soon as he or she pronounces husband and wife. So always make sure you tell the officiant, like, politely, like, may you please move out the way once you pronounce them husband and wife, and they're ready for the kiss. You tell them to kiss. Can you please move out the way a little bit, so that way I can just capture the couple kissing as soon as he pronounces them husband and wife, so you can capture the kiss. Okay, don't. All right, so the last tip here, number 5, is when you're shooting outside on a cloudy day where the sun goes in and out of the clouds, if you are shooting solo, always make sure that the cameras that you are not attending to the most are set to auto. So the reason is because if you, like, let's say you manually set the camera while the sun is out, when the sun goes in, the shot is going to be, it's not going to be exposed as good as you want it to. It's going to be dark. And if you set your camera manually when the sun is in the clouds, and you move away, and you're focusing on these other cameras, or your main camera over there in the center, when the sun comes out, your shot is going to be exposed. And I'm going to put a video showing you the mistake I made, because I was shooting by myself. So I set the camera, the sun was going in and out of the clouds a lot, so that messed up my shot a lot, and I really regret this. So I'm just giving you a tip here, so that way you don't make the mistake that I made. Always set your camera on auto if you're not going to be attending to it, because if you have like 4 cameras, 5 cameras, you can't be here and run there, and some like this cameras that I just start record, like expose, start recording, and that's it. So just set that on automatic, so in case the lighting changes, it's going to adjust accordingly. Okay, so always set your camera on auto if you're not going to be attending to that camera a lot. So yeah, check the level of your batteries when you first, before like the ceremony starts. Make sure your battery is on 100, or at least over 50, or if it's going to be a long ceremony, different traditions, make sure your battery is at least full, and make sure your SD card is going to capture everything. Okay, so that's that. In case you weren't at the wedding rehearsal, just make sure when you get there at the venue, at the ceremony, you ask the officiant also where the people are going to stand, or you ask the bride and groom, or the bridesmaids, maid of honor, best man. They usually know how they're going to stand, so that way you know where to put your cameras, because it's very important that your cameras don't get blocked, because if they all get blocked, you're not going to get that's very bad. So always make sure you also know where everybody is gonna stand. So that's a bonus tip that I didn't add here, but I just thought about it as we talking about this. So yeah, so those are the tips, and hopefully they're gonna help you in your next wedding and in your future wedding. So Thank you for watching. My name is Francis. Wedding videography tips. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and to all my subscribers, thank you very much. I really appreciate everybody subscribing to my channel. It just affirms to me that I'm helping people. So yeah, so please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching, guys. Appreciate it.